As someone who knows him for a while, what did that mean to him?
Well, I don't know what it meant to him, but what it meant to me is seeing a brother on the field and making his first big play on, first big college ground. And I was really happy for him when he got to the sideline. So that meant a lot. That meant a lot to me.
Any particular meaning behind number 3?
Really my Nana, and I wore 3 my first year at Mighty Might, and I wore 3 all of high school.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
How's it going, man? Joe Smeltzer, NSN Sports Now. Nice to meet you. So yeah, just obviously last year, I'm sure it was crazy in a lot of ways. First year playing high school football, or college football, excuse me. What were your main takeaways, and how do you feel that you're a better player now than you were in year one?
Just working on my craft every day, getting better in practice, taking the valuable reps, learning from the older guys, and seeing what the older guys have done on the field and off the field has really shaped me into a better player in person.
Were there any older guys in particular that you watched and really learned things from?
There's guys like Jay Reed, Zaki Wheatley, KJ Winston, Abdul Carter, and Cam Miller. Those are the 5 guys that I really looked up to.
Hey, so KJ in particular, obviously he didn't get to play most of last season, but even after he was hurt and focusing on rehabbing, what influence was he able to provide to especially younger guys like yourself in the secondary?
He was like another coach. He would teach us what good things to do because he's been here for a while, so he's got all the ticks and tacks, for us. So he was like another coach, and he brought good spirit. That's really what he did.
As far as Jay Reed goes, how would you describe him, and what's it going to mean to see him likely get drafted in about 2 months? So,
he's a good player. He's a dog, and he's also a good teammate, and he always wants to see us win. So I feel like that gave us good confidence, and the morale he brings is just to the ceiling, And watching him go to the NFL and get potentially drafted is really exciting also.
as far as Abdul goes, obviously you work closely with your position group, but how was he able to have an impact on you, even not being in the same position group and not working, right next to each other like you were with some of the other guys?
It's just the way he carries himself, He's always doing reps at 100%, even walkthroughs. He's doing them game-like. His mentality is just through the roof. And I feel like a person like that, you need to be around in order to get to where you want to be.
You think he should be the number 1 pick?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Out of this world. I feel like he was the best player in college football.
What was the first thing you saw him do where you were like, kind of did a double take and just admired like what you had just seen?
It was a lot of things. I can't name any specifics. Every play he's just making a great highlight, getting in the backfield, bending. It's just crazy to watch.
I'm sure you haven't really probably seen too much like firsthand of the new receivers, Ross and Hudson, but from what you've seen from them just being on campus and what you've seen on film, what do you kind of see as a guy that's might be going against some of those guys, those two guys in practice? So
I feel like it'll be good work, competitive. I think they're really good players by what I've seen so far, and I think they'll bring a lot of value to the team. And I just can't wait to see what they bring.
As far as the receivers, it's going to be kind of a new-looked room with Trey and Omari gone, with those 2 guys coming in. But the guys that are coming back, what do you feel that they bring to the table?
They've been here, so they'll just bring the standard of what Penn State has. They know the standard, and they'll teach us the standard, and they'll hold the standard. So I feel like that's what they'll bring.
What do you see from some of those guys in practice that might not necessarily show up on the stat sheet and that the fans watching at home might not see?
I feel like they're all good, down to the freshmen that just walked in, the mid-years. I feel like we have a really good room, and I feel like they're going to show it on Saturdays.
Being a guy from Florida, how has the adjustment been to coming here, which is, not Florida, obviously. So,
You know, the cold is crazy. You know, I'm trying to adjust to it. I've been here for a year, and it just keeps getting worse. So
what was that SMU game like? Because that was, I think, almost at zero, like the
yeah,
temperature was.
that was too cold. My hands were changing colors. I couldn't feel my fingers. It was bad.
As far as Jim Knowles goes, what have your impressions been of him so far? I know you haven't known him for too long yet, but from what you do know, what have been your takeaways?
From what I've seen, I feel like he's a businessman. You know, he handles his business, and that's all he does. He comes here to work, from what I've seen, and I feel like he's just gonna help us win games.
Do you have any specific goals for yourself this season, or are you just kind of taking everything day by day?
I'm taking everything step by step, step by step.
Was there any type of learning curve in buying into the 1-0 mentality, or is that something that you just kind of got as soon as you got to Penn State?
From what I've seen, it's a part of the team. You know, 1-0 mentality. I feel like it's being present now, not focusing on the future, not focusing on the past. 1-0, just 1-0 now. You win the day, that's it.
What's the biggest way you feel you're a different person now than when you got to Penn State?
Say that again?
Just like both as a player and as a person, what do you think the biggest differences have been from year 2 to year 1?
Oh, really focusing on taking care of my body and working more on my craft. You know, getting better as a player, and also being more coachable. And yeah, I feel like those things can factor into shaping me into a better player in person years from now, and just going forward. And I feel like when I first got here, you know, I didn't really have like routines or know what was going on. I feel like I was just going through the motions. But now, since it's been a year, I've known more and learned more, and I feel like that's going to help me a lot.
Going into spring ball, what are your top priorities? Like, what are you going to be working on the most?
Just learning more and getting better every single day.
Awesome.